Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to Timber Elephant Park here in Maputo land, South Africa. My name is Terry Dupree, and I'll be your naturalist presenter for this Sunday afternoon. Oh, these elephants are always rather entertaining. Looks like they're having a lovely afternoon, chilling under the trees, having a sandbar, just enjoying themselves, taking the day as it comes. I must say, Tembe is one of my favorite locations at the moment because of the beautiful green trees and a lot of the acacias are all kind of already have their leaves yet, Tembe, so they must have had some late rains. Yeah, lovely to see lots of greenery here at Tembe. So just a reminder, folks, that this is a live and interactive show. Please feel free to send through your questions, comments, join in the conversation. Let me know how your weekend is going, what you would like to see this afternoon, what your highlights of this week's safaris were. You can scan the QR code on screen now or head across to Twitter or X or our YouTube channel. Don't forget to use the hashtag Wild Earth to send through those questions and comments. I wonder what else has been happening at Tembe this week. Well, like I said, it's been rather windy here in South Africa. It's quite common for August. Some windy days, windy afternoons. It's been rather windy here in Johannesburg today. Just got back from Mabula a couple of days ago. So yeah, we also had quite windy weather. I know last week Juma also had some strange rains, which is also rather unusual for this time of the year. But yeah, I hope everyone is having a lovely Sunday afternoon. What a beautiful scenery it is to sit here and watch these elephants at Tembe Elephant Park. Oh, there's a big bull on the right that's having a very good old scratch. He's got a bit of an itchy head, scratching himself, so it looks like kind of like a mixed bull herd. Beautiful mixed bull herd of elephants here, having a great time. Looks like some bulls just kind of play fighting with one another. This other bull in front of us looks like he's just having a nice, relaxing afternoon, not too keen on moving around too much. Just getting a bit warm here in South Africa, I must say. Summer is approaching. I think the windy weather and the cold kind of temperatures we have been having probably over. We're going to be looking forward to some very hot days here in South Africa. So welcome to all the viewers that are joining us today. So Catherine, thank you for joining us on this sunny Sunday here on live at the waterhole. Penelope Kenyon, welcome. I'm glad we have started at your favorite camera, Penelope. There's always elephants and activity here. It's actually my only Africam that I've seen lions at. So yeah, maybe if we're lucky today we'll get some lions popping in. Penelope, I'm sorry you've had some rainy and cold weather on Salt Rock and KZN. Yeah, it is very strange weather we've been having here in South Africa, I must say. Yeah, I don't know. Very, very strange. Could be some kind of late late rains coming in. Joanne Miller, thanks again for joining us on Live at the Waterhole. It's a lovely afternoon. You can see it's not too hot here in Tembe. It's probably some nice cloud cover. Great to see some beautiful cloud cover. The elephants, well, it mostly be standing in the shade this time of the day. So yeah, Tembe Elephant Park is about 300,000 square kilometers. It's located in the KwaZulu-Natal province of South Africa, kind of between the KZN province and Mozambique, so very close to Mozambique. And I know Tembe is most well known for its massive elephant tuskers, huge elephant tuskers that reside in Tembe, long tusks. Yeah, it does offer a really incredible experience. I've been to Tembe myself, and yeah, we had some great encounters. Didn't see leopard, but we did see lion. And the elephants, for me, of course, were my number one highlight. Oh, we've got some woolly neck storks that just look like they've flown in here. Raven, thank you for joining us from the east coast of the USA. I hope that you had a good Halloween, Raven. I believe America had America's Halloween is kind of different to our Halloween, so I hope that you had a great Halloween a couple of days ago, Raven. Thank you for joining us. Lady Macbeth, yeah, could be, I wouldn't say early rains, Lady Macbeth. The rainy season is still quite a way away for most places in southern Africa. So we generally experience, most regions of southern Africa will experience our rains kind of end of November into December. And then heavy rains end of December, January, February, last rains in March. But this year, some areas like Botswana, Zambia, Zimbabwe did get some late rains in April as well. So I'd more say, again, I know the kind of climate is changing all over the world, so could be some kind of climate change. These elephants. Maybe if we're lucky, we'll get an elephant pool party today. I would love to see an elephant pool party. No, at Tembe here in this kind of swampy puddle just behind the main pan, we do often get the elephants going there to have a nice pool party. Just enjoy themselves a little bit. Cool off. All right. So these elephants look pretty relaxed. I don't think they're going to be moving anywhere anytime soon. So let's head over to Oldonyo, see what's happening over in Kenya at Oldonyo. Welcome to Oldonyo, everyone. Looks like we've got a lot of activity. Oldonyo can be quite a busy watering hole this time here. We do apologize if we do have any technical difficulties. This camera can be a little bit unstable at times, although it is one of our favorite spots. So we've got some nice big herd of elephants here. Looks like a mixed herd and some big bulls and zebra come in. Shame. The elephants are not giving anyone any chance to have a drink. And we also have some eland on the side there, also desperate for a chance to drink. So, Catherine, I'm sorry you've also had some snow. Very strange for you to have snow in Germany during this time of the year. Very weird weather indeed, I must say. I think everywhere in the world is experiencing strange weather at the moment. Lady Macbeth, thank you for the update on the leopard population in Tembe. I know they are very elusive. Juma, we are very, very gifted, very privileged in the Sabi Sands and Kruger to have some awesome leopard sightings. But I know in a lot of areas it's difficult to see leopard. So we've got a saddlebill stork here. How cool to see a saddlebill stork. What a beautiful bird the saddlebill stork is. So awesome to see them so close up as well. From far away, you don't always see the kind of different colorations on their bill. You can see that beautiful saddle shape on its bill, like yellow saddle bill. So these saddlebills are actually in Juma Private Game Reserve. Isn't that cool? Awesome to see these saddlebills so close up. I love the kind of two-toned black and red coloration on their bills, as well as that incredible yellow saddle. They're having a lovely Sunday bath. Lovely to be back on Juma. So I know we had quite a bit of activity on Juma this morning on the sunrise safari. I don't know if anyone was watching. Oh, the saddlebull's having the best time. Oh, you can hear the fishy go. Cool. So we were just talking about Juma. So we are currently at Juma here. If you're just joining us, got two really cool saddlebull storks. So probably a pair. It's a fish eagle calling. Let's have a listen for this fish eagle. It's so cool to watch these saddlebill storks having a lovely bath. I think this is the small pan just before the main dam. So I think main Juma Dam is just behind. Yeah, these saddlebills, Bianca, this is a lovely sight, and you don't often get to see saddlebills so close up, and especially having a bath. How cool is that? They're kind of like prehistoric birds. I have a look every now and then. You see them giving a glance up to the sky, seeing if there's any other predators out there. So yeah, Juma had quite an eventful and exciting morning in the Leopard Kingdom, I believe. There's that fish eagle. Yeah, I believe Shidulu and Shalamba might have had a little bit of a standoff this morning. Maybe Shidulu is actually planning on, yeah, I don't know, giving Shalamba a bit of a run for her money and taking over the title of the Queen of Juma. There was a bit of snarling that was going on. Yeah, shucks. So I wonder what's going to happen there. I wonder if there was a fight between Shidulu and Shalamba. I wonder who would win. I know Shidulu is actually a bit bigger than Shalamba, so yeah, I'm going to go with Shalamba. But yeah, it might be a interesting few days in the leopard world in Juma. I wonder who is going to come and take over. Maybe Shidulu is going to challenge Shalamba. Sorry, folks. To the title of Queen of Juma. Interesting. Also on Amakala, they had an incredible sighting yesterday, which I'm very jealous of. Steve had an amazing sighting of an aardwolf in daylight, just roaming through the plains and open area. Check out the saddlebill stork. He's like cleaning himself, drying his wings off. So yeah, awesome sighting. I think it is still on the Wild Earth story. If you want to go and have a look on the stories, Wild Earth stories on Instagram. I think I saw it there this morning. Incredible footage of a aardwolf roaming about looking for food. So yeah, lots of epic sightings. I think they also saw the three amigos have also been active, very active on Amakala. Maybe they're looking for a hunt, looking for a next meal. So we're just going to listen out for that fish eagle. He keeps calling every now and then, so we'll just have a quick listen out. Incredible. So Penelope, this fish eagle is a resident fish eagle that does hang out at Juma quite often, or he kind of like moves between the pans, kind of between main Juma pan and also Baobab pan. If you don't see him at one, you'll generally see him at the other. Incredible to actually see these fish eagle around and hear them. So while we are here and while mentioning about Steve, so if you would like to book a safari and have Steve as your private guide on Sabi Sands, I think definitely, yeah, you wouldn't get a better guide, one of the Wild Earth legends, to join you on safari in the Sabi Sands. So next year, February 2025, there is a trip going with Steve. You can scan the QR code on screen now to visit the Wild Earth travel page to find out more information. So it's very small group sizes, group size of 6. And if you're booking this trip, you'll get a ticket to Dream, which means you'll get a chance to travel in the broadcasting vehicle during the live drive. So you'll be sitting behind the presenter and cam ops on one of the live drives, which is very awesome to be able to be a part of that experience. And of course, you will also be just around the corner from Juma, so you'll be staying in a camp just around the corner from Juma. And yeah, you will get to meet some of the Juma characters. So yeah, if you would like to join Steve on a safari next year, February, limited spots are available. Please head across to our Wild Earth travel website to find out more information. Oh my gosh, I remember Steve was actually the first guy that I joined on drives on Juma, and yeah, it was really a memorable experience. Really enjoyed the time I spent with Steve, and then of course I also joined Cedric, and yeah, both of them were two really special mentors that I'm very grateful to have been able to spend time with them and to work with them as well. These saddlebills are really having the best time. So it's perfect time. The sun is shining. It's nice and hot. Perfect time for saddlebills to come for a bath. So these saddlebill storks are kind of one of the threatened larger bird species. So in some areas, they do actually ask if you have sightings of these saddlebills to record them, like in Kruger National Park. Go onto your birding apps and please log any sightings of these very special birds. I don't think I've actually seen saddlebill on Juma before. So very cool sighting these saddlebills. So Juma Safari Girl, thank you for giving an update about the kind of size of the two leopards. I have seen lots of pictures of the leopards. I've never seen Shidulu, but of course I do know Tlalamba quite well. But just from the pictures I've seen and from everyone that I've been chatting to, everyone seems to always say that, yeah, Shidulu is a lot bigger than Tlalamba. So I think Tlalamba might have a few hard days ahead if Shidulu does decide to try and take her on for her territory. So yeah, what a lovely, you can hear the magpie shrikes in the back calling away. Just listening if we can hear any other birds. I know Amy got a pretty cool sighting the other day of a pearl spotted owlet. Live, it's very difficult to get them live. We got one on the virtual safaris at Mabula, so I hope that'll come out soon. But let's have a listen if we can hear any cool birds calling here at Juma, besides the magpie shrikes. All right, so let's. I think we might have something interesting at Founders Lodge. Let's head over to Founders Lodge and see what's waiting for us there. Wow, we have a white rhino coming down to the watering hole to have a bit of a drink. Looks like it is also a very windy day in Founders, lodge in the Eastern Cape. Yeah, shucks. Wind, wind, wind. This poor rhino is probably just coming down for a drink. Maybe if we're lucky, he'll have a mud wallow. I've been dying to get a rhino wallowing for a few weeks. It's awesome to watch them getting down in the mud and just rolling around. He's having a lovely Sunday afternoon. I think he's probably already had a drink. Maybe he's going to head off. Maybe he's going to come back for a mud bath. So you can see the trees all blowing around. Oh, it's nice to see the Eastern Cape is also looking a bit green as well. You can see this rhino's ears. He's kind of like listening around, seeing what else is out there, what's happening. Got some pretty cool rhino sightings here at Founders Lodge. Right, a few big bulls. Kim, we are surely blessed to see a rhino this afternoon. Seems like a big mammals day and big bird day today. We've had some elephants that we started off with tembe. Nice big white rhino here in Founders. Of course, very special to see our saddlebill stork. So the Eastern Cape, this habitat is perfect habitat for the white rhino, as they do prefer mostly short grassed areas. And of course, they avoid long grass areas with long grass. So they're kind of different to the black rhino in that white rhino are mostly grazers. You can see those big, kind of wide, square shaped lips, perfect for grazing grass. And also, what's quite cool with the white rhinos, they have a much thicker and bigger neck than the black rhino. And that's because they spend so much of their time with their head down grazing. I must say, I much prefer white rhino, a lot more predictable. Black rhino are very, like, yeah, they definitely keep you on your toes. They're a lot more temperamental, black rhino. Hang out in very thick areas as opposed to white rhino that are in open areas. And black rhino are more kind of prone to browsing and less grazing. So they have a majority of their diet, black rhinos, that is actually browsing. So that's why they have that perfect pointed lip of theirs in order to grab and pull vegetation back into their mouth. So Catherine, yeah, it is nice to see this big bull here. Again, I have seen, notice something. There's a female with a little calf that sometimes comes down as well. We actually had a really cool um, kind of segment the other day on one of the live shows in the afternoon. I think it was like on Tuesday or Wednesday, of a rhino where it had gone and lay in the sand, and you could see where this hip crease of it was actually lying. You could see exactly where the mother had lay and the little ones. We kind of got out the car and did a segment. It was really cool to like see where this giant beast had been lying down in the sand. Of course, I had to go and lie next to it to kind of show you how it was lying. And yeah, it was very special to see like the imprint, very thick skin that these animals have. White rhino. Praying he's going to come down for a mud bath. So, Catherine, you have 5 individuals on your list. Oh, look, there's another rhino coming to join. So that's obviously what he was picking up on. His ears were moving a bit. And yeah, he's obviously picked up on another rhino coming in. Maybe it's another bull. Maybe it's another female coming through for a bit of a drink. So in areas that they are, maybe they're going to fight. Let's see. And sometimes if males kind of come across each other, they don't know each other, they do fight, especially if there's a female. Let's see what's going to happen. Well, guess these two boys must know each other then. Looks like two males. Lots of oxpeckers on the second male that's just come through. So yeah, the males can be quite yeah, tolerant of other males, especially if they know one another. But if there's a female in season, then that might all change. Hello, big boy. You coming for a drink? So these white rhinos, they will maintain territories with resident bulls. So often these resident bulls will actually patrol their boundaries and scent mark, as well as leaving their kind of foot scuff marks, just like how black rhinos do, as well as dung middens. And then they'll mark their territory by kind of urine spraying to scent mark all these pathways of the boundary. So often you'll see a lot of rhino dung on the side of a road. That could mean it's a part of a boundary, but rhinos do also are known to also kind of use the sides of roads to kind of defecate as well. So not always a boundary, but sometimes in some cases, if you see one along a path, like a game trail path, it's generally a boundary. Check it as tail curling. So it's kind of a sign with rhinos, especially if they are, yeah, might be irritated or agitated. They'll often curl around their tails like that. So yeah, in certain areas, depending on how big the areas are, the seasonal movements of rhinos can be affected by obviously water levels dropping, grass levels that have been kind of depleted, biting flies that might be in an area, or areas that might be a bit too open and not have enough shade for them to rest during the day. So this might cause some sort of like seasonal movements, but generally their territories and home ranges will try to always have a good water source, kind of enough place for them to rest during the day because they spend a lot of time out there in the sun. We actually had a cool sighting of a white rhino the other day. We started this, well, when they came to us for one of the sunset safaris at Mabula, and we were just watching some rhinos. There were some cheetah in the area, and then all of a sudden, two cheetah popped up with a kill, and the rhinos are just standing there watching them. It was quite interesting to watch kind of interspecies interaction there. So, Lady Macbeth, yes, I agree with you there. The contents of a midden can tell you which rhino has deposited. So, yeah, generally by a midden, you can tell if it is a male or female, a black rhino or white rhino. So black rhino dung, white rhino dung looks a lot like elephant dung, but it does have a bit of a darker texture to it, and obviously the food that they feed on is mostly grass. Whereas black rhino, it's very rare to actually find a black rhino dung that hasn't been scattered. Generally, black rhino dung are a lot more territorial than white rhino, so generally scatter their dung, and obviously their dung is not as large as that of a white rhino. So you can tell the different species between black rhino and white rhino, and then also between male and female. Generally, females are not much concerned about marking territories, and the males will generally mostly be focused on marking territories as much as they can, especially if there's a lot of competition in the area. So in areas like Zululand, where there might be a lot of rhinos in an area, the kind of home ranges can be anything from 1 to 3 kilometers squared. So white rhinos are obviously extremely vocal, and do have kind of different vocalizations between squeaks, pants, and then loud gasping, as well as puffing, huffing and puffing, which can be a kind of contact or distress call. Maybe if we're lucky, we'll get some warthogs coming down for a swim. It's a beautiful afternoon. Look at those clouds. Nice and sunny, but yet still some clouds. The wind seems to have died down a little bit. So, oh yeah, well, you can see in the water it's still a little bit windy, but the vegetation isn't blowing around as much. So, All right, seeing as our rhinos have disappeared, let's head across to Tembe and see what other activity we can get there. Tembe Elephant Park. So welcome back to Tembe, everyone. Doesn't look like it's as windy here in Tembe as it is in the Eastern Cape. We've got a floppy eared elephant over here. So you do have that. It does happen quite often. So what's happened with this elephant is the cartilage in his ears obviously been damaged or broken at some stage. Can happen quite often when big bulls are fighting with one another or even when they are moving through vegetation. So yeah, it's quite a good giveaway. Can definitely identify this elephant bull from others. And we've only got 2 elephants left. Shucks. There was like 5 or 6 elephant bulls here earlier. Let's have a listen what birds we have calling around Tembe here. So it sounds like we have, I first heard some lesser-masked weavers. So lovely to also see some nyala, a few female nyala. and a young male coming down for a drink. I must say, my favorite part of this pan is definitely the further right hand side of the pan. I feel like that's a nice little sneaky spot that a lot of animals would kind of sneak in for a bit of a drink. And these two elephant bulls are just in a lovely afternoon play fight session. Got some warthogs also coming down for a drink. Shame that poor guy looks a little bit thirsty. So yeah, we had the lesser masked weaver possibly calling earlier. Must be a colony, probably nesting somewhere close by. There's, yeah, I'm sure in some of these acacia trees, especially with all these palms, you see there's some lala palms or the wild date palms growing close to the water here, and that makes perfect material for these lesser masked weavers to construct their nests. So the males will work tirelessly away in order to construct a perfect kind of bowl-shaped nest with a bit of a tunnel. And when he's finished, it generally takes anything from about 4 to 5 days for this male to construct this nest. Imagine hanging upside down with his feet, and all he can use is his bill to weave this incredible nest, praying that the female will come and approve of the new little nest in order to have their chicks. Also heard some sounds like a rattling testicular calling. Ooh, I think he has some kingfishers. Yeah, so we're just listening for the birds around while these elephant bulls are having a great time play fighting. I know there are also some pied kingfisher. There's a pair of pied kingfisher that hang out here. Oh, what is that? Oh, see the nyala on the other side of the pan crossing there. This side of the pan is kind of the side we saw the lions coming to have a drink once upon a time. I think it was a few months ago. Seem to love this area. While these elephants are having a great time. So it's quite important for young elephant bulls to have this kind of play fighting interaction with one another in preparation for one day when they have a big duel with another adult male. So it's kind of, yeah, very important for their social development as well as kind of learning to fight with other bulls. It seems to be one rowdy bull that's just causing trouble with everyone, which is the usual story. Yeah, we had some Egyptian geese over at the other pan there. Nice to also see some blacksmith plovers. I know there's a pair of little bee eaters that also hangs out. Sometimes they give us a show. Oh, I can hear, what is that? Sounds like a greenbill. Probably have the yellow-bellied greenbills in Tembe. I know it's a very perfect habitat for greenbills. Nice thick forested area. These elephants are enjoying all the acacias. Seems like this one elephant bull here has a missing piece of his trunk on the right hand side. So check at these bulls. So these are younger bulls. I have seen some bulls where, here at Tembe with much longer tusks. Shucks, their tusks can weigh anything from 3 to 9, 10 kilograms each side. So yeah, you can have massive, massive tusks. I wouldn't want to mess with some of these bulls here at Tembe. So yeah, it's quite interesting. We've been chatting about like elephants and elephant bulls and minerals and salt lake areas. It's quite interesting to see how the elephants here at Tembe obviously have a lot. A lot of nutrients in the soil, a lot of minerals. So that really helps with their tusks and their tusk growth. Obviously, their genetics is quite good. So they have very long tusks, whereas those elephants over in Namibia have much shorter tusks. So very brittle as well and break quite easily. The Nyala are obviously being drawn to this nice lush green vegetation down by the watering hole. Beautiful females. Like little African bambies. They are so cute. Especially a little baby Nyala. Oh, so cute. Full of life. And this kind of water swampy pan here is also perfect habitat for some aquatic birds. I love searching in there in the reeds to see if you can find any jacanas or crakes, maybe some moorhens. The woolly neck stork seem to also love this area. But shame, I think there's been a lot of elephant activity in this pan. Oh, we've got some jippos, some Egyptian geese. So yeah, there's starlings calling. No, not starlings, sorry, these are masked weavers. Sound very similar to the buffalo weaver, but yeah, kind of all weavers do have like that communal vocalization. But yeah, masked weavers, I'm sure the males are hard at work preparing those nests. So if the female weaver doesn't approve of the male's nest, shame, she'll actually rip down that nest and the male has to start all over again. So once the male is ready for the female to come and have a look at his nest, he'll actually hang upside down on the nest, flapping his wings with all his might and will to attract the attention of his female. Once the female comes over, she will also start to inspect the nest, see if it's in the right location. It's all about location, location, location. If she's not happy with it, she'll rip it down. Shame. Poor guy. Then he has to start all over again. We've got there some more, probably ringneck doves or the Cape turtle dove. Some warthogs coming down to also enjoy this nice lush green vegetation. I was very impressed with the warthogs at Mabula. There are some very impressive warthogs over in Mabula. Blackback puffback calling. Got our ringneck doves just on the left there. It's coming for a drink. Nice to hear that blackback puffback. He also has a very elaborate, fluffy kind of feathers that grow on his back. Very fluffy. It looks like he has cotton ball or giant cotton ball on his back. That'll also kind of be his way of displaying for the females during the breeding season to attract the attention of one of the females. Again, it's only during the breeding season then he kind of loses that white fluff. And yeah, a lot of these birds, when they adapt and have all these strange feathers, long plumes, in order to attract the female, it does make them more susceptible to predation. So other birds of prey can then easily catch them, like the pennant-winged nightjar, for example. It has that very elaborate, almost like Siamese fighter kind of dance, but those feathers do make it difficult for him to get away in a hurry. So it does mean he is very susceptible to predation, like bigger birds. So as soon as they finish mating, generally those birds will kind of all clip off those long trailing feathers or change color back into their normal non-breeding plumage. Mindy, I'm glad you are loving the birding. So my record for bird list on Live at the Waterhole, I think, was 28 species of birds that we managed to get one afternoon at Live at the Waterhole. I love the sound of these weavers. Let's have a listen to them. They are super happy, busy building nests. And they must be somewhere behind the camera. I can't see them anywhere, but let's have a listen. They must be somewhere close by. Cool. So this actually looks like a sickle bush that we have here, or Chinese langton, or the scientific name is Dicrostachys. And I actually had one of these on screen the other day in one of the sunset safaris. So this is perfect rhino food. Oh, rhinos love this Dicrostachys. It's just strange for me to see it at this time of the year with green leaves. In Mabula, the Dicrostachys, they were all very, very bare, not a single green leaf. And yeah, black rhinos love to eat those seed pods. White rhinos occasionally, but not as much as black rhino. Nyala, kudu, bushbuck, they love to feed on those Dicrostachys pods. They're like little protein bars of the bush. And very important for kind of the ecosystem or every little habitat, because they fruit normally during the dry season when there's not much other fruit around. So yeah, these certain fruits like the Dicrostachys or even the acacias, the erelobas, are very important food source for a lot of these animals during the dry season like now. We can hear the three-banded plover also flying around calling. It's just landed on the other side of the pan by where the warthogs are. Should be, is that a jacana or a three-banded plover? Heard the three-banded plover flying around somewhere. Oh, in this habitat, the reeds just behind the warthogs here. So, of course, this is perfect habitat. Oh, there he is. You see the little three-banded plover just in between the warthogs there. How cute. There's two of them. Very cute little plovers. Very common in kind of water, small water sources, ponds, rivers, streams, especially on the banks. Mostly a bank resident. But these reeds just behind the warthogs here are also perfect habitat for your black crags, um, and even yeah your moorhens and your jacanas to nest. Beautiful thick reeded vegetation. So Sierra Delta. I guess yeah, it has been a while since we've seen these warthogs. I must say, we don't see warthogs here at Tembe at the Pan as much as some of the other pans. I know at Old Donyo we do see warthogs quite often. Juma warthogs are there all the time, but yeah, it's quite rare to see these warthogs here. I'm guessing it could be because of obviously food source. So if there's less food and less water around, the warthogs will be more inclined to come to these pans. But like I said, Tembe is looking lush, green, and beautiful at the moment. So I don't think the warthogs are kind of so desperate for food that they'd need to only hang around the pans. This tree just in the middle of the screen was also perfect for, I know our pied kingfisher used to hang out there quite a lot, waiting to make a kill, catch a little fish. So Joy in HK, thank you for sending for your comment. Yeah, it is really awesome. I didn't know that about this camera in Tembe, that you can actually sit and watch the same view that is being watched by so many people all over the world. Thank you so much, Joy. It's really cool to be able to watch the same view as so many of the viewers. I've been to the Ukukuyu camera in Namibia, Of course, I've been to the dam camp at Juma. I've been to the Black Eagle nest in Little Falls as well. They've got a camera there on those Black Eagle that are in the botanical gardens there. So really cool. The Walter Sisulu Botanical Gardens. There we go. That's the name. I don't know if any of you have heard of those Black Eagle that are nesting there. I've briefly seen them once, but they weren't nesting. I think, what is it, August, September. Should probably pay a visit sometime soon. It's actually just around the corner from my house. I think those Black Eagle should be nesting sometime soon. I think I read on the board it was September, mid to late September, the Black Eagles should start nesting. Most big birds of prey like vultures will also nest around that time, so August, September. This looks like this is that bull that had his trunk. So this must be the hide here that we're looking at in the corner, where you can sit back and watch this incredible view. It is looking so fabulous and green here in Tenby, I must say. A lot of mineral, so we're talking about minerals earlier, and a good indicator of a Sodak area or an area that's very rich in minerals are all these kind of mineral mining holes or mining spots that a lot of elephants and other plains game come to feed on those minerals. This would be a nice leopard tree, I think. Any other birds? Oh, here's our weavers. We have our weavers. Shucks. I thought they were actually behind the camera and they've actually been in this tree the whole time. So I'm just having a look at my bird book. So let's have a look. Lesser mast weaver. I'm going to go for lesser mast weaver, or it could be the southern mast weaver as well. If we've got any birding professionals out there, please feel free to give me a hand. I'm just having a bit of a read up on both of them. So southern mast weaver, they do occur. It is more common. So I'm going to, yeah, I think it's probably southern mast weaver. So they have the red eye, obviously that black mask, lightly streaked with green and on their back, as well as a pinkish to brown mauve legs. The breeding males has a pure black face, whereas the females and juveniles are more of a dull color. So that's one of the nests that we're looking at here, and just incredible. I don't think I could weave this nest with my hands, let alone with only my beak or mouth. Isn't that crazy? Nature is incredible. So they'll have a colony of nests here, and yeah, they can have anything from 5 to 30 nests, and yeah, they kind of don't use the same nest for too long. So they might have one nest for kind of sleeping purposes, but definitely the nest they use for having their eggs and the chicks, they will not reuse that nest. So you can see the fresher nests are more of a green color, and the older nests are more brown in color. Sounds like a grey hornbill calling in the background. Oh, there we go. Hello, little weaver friend. Of course, they decided to go quiet when we found them. So southern masked weaver. Just trying to have a listen if we can hear that grey hornbill again. It's just calling just now in the background. Little emerald spotted dove also calling in the background. Of course, now they're quiet. Check at that. So that's a male. Beautiful male. Check at that black mask he has on his face. Very prominent red eye. It's a shame. They can actually strip whole palms. And yeah, I've seen palm trees completely stripped by these weavers. So they'll go and kind of strip the palms, also use some grasses if they can get some nice green grass or reeds near the water. It's perfect material for weaving their nest. So Nola, yeah, this location, Tembe, is giving us some amazing birding sounds, sights and sounds today. It's lovely to just listen to these weavers. They are so happy all the time. Busy, busy bees. So you'll often get gymnodines will come and raid the nests of the masked weaver colonies. Shame. So perfect food for a gymnodine, a little weaver chick. So generally they'll go quiet like that if there's a predator around. So if a predatory bird flies like a gymnodine or maybe a little goshawk of some sort, then you'll hear them all completely silent. So maybe there's a bird of prey in the area. Still got our warthogs here feeding away, a little family of warthogs. Probably a female and her sub-adults. Another big elephant coming to visit. Doesn't seem like he's very thirsty though. Oh, and we have our woolly neck stalks just through the gap here. Cool to see those woolly neck stalks. Oh, there's our puffback calling. And of course, our warthog friends are busy feeding away, as warthogs do. So warthogs actually have a pretty cool. They have a special kind of secretion that comes from their eyes that actually stains their faces sometimes, and they actually, yeah, that's to help to remove all the dust from their eyes. So especially the big males, you'll see often they'll have a lot of this like liquid seeping from their eyes, and that's actually they have this extra secretion like tears. So they almost like have tears that drip out of their eyes to help get that sand and mud out of their eyes. Because obviously, see warthogs, they spend a lot of time on their haunches digging around in the dirt, a lot of sand that gets into the eyes, and this kind of secretion helps to remove all of the sand out of their eyes. So Yolanda, yes, it is true that warthogs do actually scavenge from carcasses. I have personally seen warthogs feeding on stomach content. So if it is a very dry year, dry season, and they manage to come across, say, an impala carcass, and there's some like partially digested grass, those warthogs will actually feed on that stomach content. And also, I've seen warthogs chewing on a bone with some meat. So they are omnivorous pigs, warthogs, so they can be seen actually feeding on carcasses or meat at times. Again, they don't have the abilities to hunt themselves, but they will definitely take a chance to scavenge at a kill, get in some extra protein. Catherine, there is definitely a lot happening here at Tembe Elephant Park. It's great birding today as well. Egyptian geese are kind of taking chilled, having a nice chilled weekend. Oop. Yeah, that puffback. So they are very territorial birds, puffback, so he's probably defending his territory. Just trying to see what that little bird is behind the Egyptian geese there. Whoop. Ah, there we go. It's an African jacana feeding on the lily pads. So the lily trotter, or the Jesus bird, because they can walk on water. All right, so we've had a great time here at Tembe, but let's go check out Tau Lodge and see what else is happening on some of our other cameras. Busy day at Tower Lodge, it looks like. A lot of antelope. Hello, wildebeest. Very cool to see some wildies. Blue wildebeest and some zebra. So as you can see, you can now definitely see what I was talking about earlier, about the contrasting difference between Tembe and some other parts of South Africa. So yeah, very, very dry here in Maputo land on Tower Lodge. Not much vegetation for these poor animals to feed on. So yeah, once they come down to these watering holes to feed, they will have to move quite a distance in order to find grass. So I'm just looking up. I just had some news feed on some wildlife news that's just come in, folks. So there has actually been a photo, a camera trap photo of a Javan rhino. So while we're on the topic of rhinos, so the Javan rhino, which is one of the most critically endangered rhinos in the world, has they've actually so there's probably less than between 70 to 80 individuals left in the world, and most of them have actually been bred in captivity or kind of special reserves in order to protect the population. So yeah, these Javan rhino, and they've just captured a little baby on a camera trap, which is so awesome. So you can actually go and find it online. A little male rhino was seen on a camera trap. Isn't that crazy? In Viet, yeah, shucks. Very, very cool. Javan rhino. So it's very exciting to see some kind of development in the wildlife industry when it comes to new rhinos being discovered. So this picture actually came from Indonesia. It is one of the very few habitats which is perfect for the Javan rhino. And it is actually one of the most endangered species of rhinos in the world. So yeah, little baby Javan rhino. So it was actually recorded walking alongside its mother in Puturi. So if you know where Puturi is in Indonesia. And yeah, it's one of the first footage of a wild Javan rhino recorded in a very, very long time. So the adults can weigh about 1,500 to about 2,000 pounds. They only have one horn. They do have quite an interesting kind of body shape compared to our northern and southern white rhinos that we know of. So yeah, very exciting news there about the Java rhino. Anyway, back to Tower Lodge. What do we have here? So we're having a look around. Got a grey heron also feeding here. So this looks like a different one. Could be a juvenile. He's not as beautiful as the other grey heron we've seen here before. Oh, no, it is the same. So the sun was just shining on his face. Oh, he looks rather tired. Check out those rings around his eyes. I don't think he got much sleep last night. Maybe it was a busy Saturday for him. So Sanjay, I agree with you there. Very, very big contrast between Tembe and Tau. So Tau Lodge is located a lot closer to the Botswana border post and or kind of border of Botswana. And yeah, because of the region that it is in, it is a lot drier, more arid, and obviously the vegetation type is quite different. Oh yeah, this this grey heron looks like he had a terrible night. So I don't know if any of you watching the show today look or feel like this poor grey heron. He looks like he doesn't even want to move. He looks completely exhausted. I don't think he's going to be ready for work on Monday. Nope, nope, nope. I can see the eye bags, almost like rings around his eyes. I got a great night of sleep, so I don't feel like this grey heron. But yeah, he definitely does not look well. That should definitely be a hashtag having a bad Sunday after a long weekend of activities. So yeah, we were just chatting. Poor Grey Heron. I do have a lot of sympathy for him, and I wish him all the best of luck for the rest of his day. Oh, we've got our 2 crocodiles here. Have a look. Isn't it cool? So cool. Oh, you see, this crocodile looks like just a moving island, wouldn't you say? He's got those weeded vegetation sticking on him. So yeah, this pan here at Tau is drying up quite a lot, so it's really limiting the space that the crocodiles can move around in, as you can see. Shame this poor guy is struggling to turn and move. It's also restricting the places that they can actually come out onto the bank. I saw, yeah, a couple of times I've seen they're struggling to get out onto the banks now. So, yeah, poor crocodiles. But I think this pan is being pumped, so they should be fine. Otherwise, if the pan does dry out a lot more, then you will see these crocodiles will have to move to another area. But I mean, crocodiles can move on land anything up to 20, 30 kilometers to get to kind of another water source. So Calvin, yeah, camera traps are an amazing research tool. You can get some really incredible footage on camera traps. So agree with you there. I've done a lot of camera trap surveys on reserves I've worked on, and I get so excited to check the cameras. So excited that I want to go and collect it after it's been out for like a day. So for me, the most difficult part of camera traps is actually trying not to collect them too early. So yeah, best time is to leave them between 2 to 3 weeks. Generally, your batteries last that long. And yeah, exciting to see what they can find. Catherine, I'm glad you went and watched the video of the rhino. I didn't know there was actually a video. I only saw some pictures. So there's actually a video of the new Javan baby rhino with its mother that's been recorded. So if you want to go have a look, give a bit of a Google and you can go and see a little baby Javan rhino in Indonesia on a camera trap. How cool is that? It's a shame we've got some very dry elephants here. So yeah, Fuzzy Dunlop, no Sunday fun day for Mr. Heron. I agree with you there. That Heron, yeah, he's definitely questioning some life choices there. He definitely thought, nah, uh, next weekend I'm going to go to bed earlier. Next weekend I'm not going to have as much fun. Because, yeah, I don't think that Heron is, nah, he's not in the greatest place in his life right now. Yeah, he's just standing there looking a bit sad. Oh, anyways, these elephants. This little one's got quite an interesting shaped head. So, yeah, very small tusks, these elephants here in Tao. Very dry as well. Just standing around, kind of probably had a drink. And they're also contemplating what should we do with the rest of our Sunday. Oh, this little baby in the middle is also too cute. His eyes look kind of puffy and swollen as well. I don't know if he also didn't get enough sleep. Poor little elephant. Or maybe he just looks like that. Yeah. So this is probably the matriarch here and her sub-adult that could be, say, between 6 to 7 years old, and this little one that's probably, oh, let's see against the belly here. Yeah, our little one's probably just going on a year. So, yeah, nice little family of elephants. Just giving a bit of a sniff. So it amazes me the traffic of elephants that come to this pan here at Tower Lodge. You can see with all this elephant dung all over the place. You can see definitely has a lot of elephants visiting. So when you so forest elephants in West Africa that I had experiences with very different to the savanna elephants in terms of like viewing experience at a pan like this. So forest elephants, due to many years of being kind of persecuted and chased and poached. Poaching is very bad with the poor forest elephants. They've become mostly more nocturnally active. So they obviously all elephants don't need to sleep much during the day. Um, they spend most of their time feeding elephants. So most elephant species only need to sleep for about 4 to 5, maybe maximum 6 hours within a 24-hour period, and it won't be consecutively, maybe half an hour here and there, 1 hour here and there. But forest elephants, if you were searching for forest elephants, is quite different because you can't just go to a pan or a bai or a watering hole in the middle of the day to find elephants waiting for you there. They actually come out at night. So if this was a pan in West Africa, it would be completely barren of elephants at the moment. You'd have to wait for the evening for all the elephants to come out. So late afternoon, early mornings is their best time for forest elephants to kind of be out and about. Of course, there is Sanga Bai, which is in Central African Republic, where forest elephants do still naturally move into this Bai area during the day because has had no poaching or hunting pressure. So the elephants still go about their natural behavior, but in a lot more commercial areas, well, not commercial, but areas where poaching has been a problem, forest elephants are very afraid to be out in the open like this. Got some impala also coming down here. Oh, look at these guys. So a shame. They've had a very good drink. Now these elephants will probably move off into the shade a bit. It looks like quite a hot day in Tao. So they'll probably move off into the shade for a little bit and then continue their day trying to feed. So Sanjay, thank you so much for information about elephants and regarding like the desert elephants. I know Catherine, who's watching now as well, she's very familiar with these desert elephants. I've never actually seen the desert elephants before. I've heard about them, tried to find them in Namibia when I was there, but they're very elusive and difficult to find. But very strange that they had a record in 2024 in having a large amount of babies. Very strange. That's kind of news to me, Sanjay, but Sanjiv, sorry. But I know in elephants the chance of having twins is almost 1% chance of any female elephant actually having twins. And if she does, it can be very difficult for her to raise both of those little babies, like this one right here. Elephants, I do know they can adopt baby elephants as well. So female, if she has a young one, she will at times adopt a baby. If there is one that's possibly lost its parents, at watering holes, sometimes there's a lot of commotion. Sometimes baby elephants can get separated from their herd. So they can be adopted by other elephants, but her baby will always take preference when it comes to feeding. So the adopted baby will kind of become like a bit of a runt. If there are predators in the area, it will always be kind of left behind. The female will always prioritize her own baby elephant over another. So very interesting about those forest elephants. Shucks. I know that forest elephants can go a lot longer periods without drinking water than the savanna bush elephants, and obviously another adaptation of the elephants in order to desert elephants in order to kind of be able to sustain their body weight, as they are a bit smaller than that of savanna bush elephants. check at these big bulls coming in here. So I wouldn't find a desert elephant being as big as these savanna bush elephants. But yeah, thank you for that information on elephants. So Joy, thank you so much for your. Apparently there was a baby, the twins in Juma, quite a while ago. Yeah, I have seen an elephant with twins, and again, but I've more commonly seen an elephant with two babies that looks like one is an orphan that has been adopted. So in a lot of cases, that orphan might be picked up by predators because if any lions or hyenas are around, and that orphaned elephant is obviously not strong enough to keep up with the rest of the herd, they can sometimes get left behind and taken by hyenas. Some nice big elephant bulls coming down for a swim, and if we're lucky, maybe we'll get a muddy pool party. Look at this young elephant. He's gonna have a bit of a splash. So brazen-hearted. So generally it depends on the kind of. You can see this baby elephant's having a suckle here. So yeah, elephant calving intervals will generally be anything between about 3 to 4 years calving interval, or 3.5 to 4.5 years between having one calf to the next. But obviously, as she gets older, that calving interval will kind of get wider and wider. Yeah, and in her last kind of few years of her life, in her like say mid to late 50s or mid 50s, she'll then be having a calf maybe once every 6 years or every 7 years. The older she gets. Check out this little guy having a bath. He's a big male coming in here. It looks like he's got a bit of a chipped tusk. Oh, shame. This female elephant keeps putting her trunk up and wiping her eye. Maybe there's some flies bothering her. Again, another windy afternoon. Lots of dust being blown around. See, as the big bull comes in, everyone steps aside. So Bianca, shame this elephant bull just chased the youngster away from his mud bath patch. So elephants will generally lift their trunks up here. It can be to help them smell. So obviously smells in the air do carry at different levels. So if they lift their trunks up, that might be kind of their way of trying to elevate their trunks in order to pick up different smells that might be blown around in the area. But yeah, elephants do like to make that kind of typical elephant S shape above their head there. I'm not too sure if there's any. There must be like quite a few different. There could be some communication kind of meanings behind that, but I think it could also just be to rest that trunk of theirs. Yeah, I mean, an elephant's trunk can weigh anything between 100. I mean, a female like that, her trunk is probably weighing about between 100 and maybe 120. Oh no, that's a smaller female. So yeah, elephant's trunk can weigh anything between like probably 60 to 80 kilograms. A big male's trunk can weigh a lot more, 120 kilograms maybe. So that's a very heavy nose to carry around with you all the time. So sometimes they get lazy trunks and they kind of balance their trunks on the ground or just kind of put their trunks on the top of their forehead. And these youngsters are now playing in the mud. Look at this little one. Oh my goodness. And his sibling, the older sibling there, is kind of giving his bottom a little bit of a scratch. His leg a bit of a scratch. Oh, Silas, I agree with you there. Baby elephants surely are food for the soul. And this big elephant bull is kind of, yeah, having a great mud bath. I love how even the biggest elephant bulls kind of, you feel like they get taken back to their childhood when they get into water. They become so playful. Isn't it just so precious watching these elephants mud bath? Oh, there's our moorhen. We've got our common moorhen. It's down there by the elephant. He's very brave. Shame. I found a squashed terrapin in a pan recently that looks like it was squashed by an elephant. So, yeah, I have been asked before, do birds or other creatures sometimes get squashed by elephants? So, yeah, it does happen from time to time. So that's why they have to be quite aware. Cool. So we also have on the birding front another blacksmith plover here, and I think what is this other bird? Is this another common moorhen? I know they do get spur-wing geese here from time to time. Yes, it looks like this little baby elephant is still getting used to using his trunk. It should be. Oh, there we go. Yeah. So I love baby elephants in their first couple of months, their first kind of 3 to 6 months. They're still getting used to their trunk, still getting used to how it works. Not sure what this long thing is on the end of their face, and kind of wave it about. Not sure, like, what is happening here. Cool to see a helmeted guinea fowl also coming in for a bit of a drink. There's a couple of them here. And is this a redneck spurfowl or Swainson spurfowl? What do we have here? On the left. Lots of bird life. Shucks, it's been a great birding day today, I must say. We've also got some blue waxbills calling somewhere as well. Could be little, what is it? Another red waxbill of some sort. Let's see, what other waxbills do we get at Tower Lodge? Yeah. Don't know if anyone has ever seen a black-faced waxbill. They're pretty cool. Very pretty little black spills. I'm hearing another waxbill calling, so I was just having a look to see which waxbill could it be. Okay, and we definitely have our two moorhens, so two common moorhens, bottom of the screen there. Also having a groom. Seems like everyone's kind of preparing for the week ahead. It's that time when you start settling down from the weekend and yeah, getting ready for another week to start. A lot of grooming going on. I must say I did really enjoy that saddlebill stork grooming itself earlier. Lovely to see saddlebill storks so close up. So saddle-billed storks do generally forage in pairs. You do find them solitary at times, but they will nest alone. They are quite territorial birds, and they will actually chase other birds out of their home range. So the diet of a saddle-billed stork is generally they feed on fish, but they can also feed on frogs and small reptiles as well as small mammals and mollusks. So they will substitute their diet with a lot of different kind of foods. So as with a lot of birds, the saddle-billed storks are also bonded for life. They do build nests together as a pair, not in a colony. Generally, most birds that are bonded for life, they will, if they lose a partner, it is quite difficult for them to find another partner. But in some cases, they might find another partner, and maybe if they're lucky, breed again. The female saddle-billed stork will lay anything from about 1 to 5 eggs. But generally, it's about 2 or 3 eggs that the female saddle-billed stork will actually lay at a time. And the pair does take turns sitting on the eggs during the incubation period, which is generally, I think, about 30 to 35 days. Talking about incubation periods, I know one of the longest, vultures. Vultures can sit on a nest for a very long time. Shucks. I think there's one of the longest incubation periods where one vulture has sat on a nest continuously for, it was like something like 60 days, I think, where a Cape vulture actually sat on a nest without moving for 60 days. I think luckily it had its partner that was bringing her back food. But generally, that's a very long period. So most bigger birds of prey, and including vultures, the incubation period where they sit on the nest will be anything from about generally 30 to 120 days, but an average of 30 to 90 days incubation period. So Penelope Canyon, there's not much water left here at Tau Lodge, I must say. It is drying up quite a lot. But like I said, I do think they are pumping this pan, but it has dried up quite a lot in the last couple of months. But so it is the same as a lot of pans in Africa. They will be drying out quite a bit. And that's why this time of the year is probably the best time to come on safari. Yes, it is very hot. Oop, got some male zebras fighting here. So it is very hot in August, September, and October in most countries in Africa, in fact. But it's generally the best time because all your water sources have all dried out. So it has limited places where animals can go and drink. And those are generally the pans and watering holes that you'll be stopping at while on safari. So Riley, all of this bird information, shucks. Many different sources, Riley. Bird book is always a good one. It has a very good general bit of information on birds. So I've got birds of sub-Saharan Africa as my bird book that I have. Very good bird book. Because I don't just guide in Southern Africa. So I've got the Sub-Saharan Africa bird book, which is incredible. So that you do get a lot of information from there, general basic information. Of course, your bird apps do have a bit of information, but it's more like a field guide key for when you're out in the fields. Just want to find a quick photo and have a sound vocalization and a little bit of information. But there are quite a few good bird websites that you can also check out on Google that have quite a bit of interesting bird information. All right, let's go check out a new location, see what else we can find at Stony Point. Welcome to a new location. I have not been to Stony Point yet. Isn't that pretty cool? In Betty's Bay. in Cape Town, and we have a penguin. I did not think I'd be seeing a penguin today, but isn't that cool? I think I've actually been here. My goodness, have any of our viewers that are watching right now been to Stoney's Bay in Stony Point in Betty's Bay? I'd love to know if any of you have been here. Pretty cool to see a little penguin grooming himself. Looks like it could be an old nest building material on the right hand side here. Oh, I would kill to be at the beach right now. Hello, little guy. Looks like he's giving himself a very nice groom. So it's been kind of overcast weather the last couple of days, even in Johannesburg, like a few days ago. Yeah, it looked like very much coastal weather. Yeah, overcast, just like down at the beach. Yeah, Julie, I agree with you there. We have not been to this location for a while, so it is definitely awesome to see a new location and a new little. It's cool. You can hear the ocean in the background. Isn't that just amazing sound to hear? Let's listen to the ocean for a bit. Ah, the sound of this ocean sounds great to do some meditation and yoga too. I don't know if any of our viewers out there are also ocean fans, but I'm a huge sucker for the ocean. I love mountains and I love the ocean. It's just like, yeah, the sound of that ocean is just super therapeutic right now. See if there's any other penguins around. So this is the African penguin, also known as the Cape penguin, and it is a species that is kind of confined to southern African waters. It is a flightless bird, pretty cool little penguin. They do have streamlined bodies and very stiff little wings slash flippers. So generally, a little penguin like this can weigh anything between about 2.2 to about 3.5 kilograms, or maybe a big male, yeah, can be over 5. Oh, look at a little rock dussie there. Hello, little rock dussies. Oh, they look a bit wet and miserable. Hey, guys. Isn't this cool little rock dussies? Oh my goodness. I'm so excited. We were looking for rock dussies at Mabula, Beaker and myself, but we really struggled to find them. So it was lovely to see these little dussies in full dussie mode. Beaker and I were talking about dussie mode and how it's okay to go into dussie mode every now and then, take things easy, just relax a bit, take a chill. But I don't think we could live, Beaker and I both agreed we couldn't live in dussie mode for too long. Because, yeah, these rock dussies spend, I'd probably say about 90% of their life sitting on rocks doing not too much. Yeah, what a life. So, Catherine, glad you've been to Boulders Beach. Yeah, Boulders Beach and those penguins are quite famous there, I must say. Look at this little this little rock dusty. He's just having the best time. He's just relaxing. It's actually very high in fats, obviously, because they're not very active. These hyraxes or rock dussies, they have a very high fat content. So I know a lot of predators and even people that love to eat rock dussies because they, yeah, very fatty. So Ollie is asking if this penguin is a male or female penguin. I'm not actually too familiar with penguins, but I'm gonna go with this could possibly be a male. I'm just guessing because of the pink kind of coloration on his eye there. So I think he has quite a pink coloration, but penguins are a new thing for me. It was a coastal bird, which I have not spent much of my time near guiding in coastal regions. So if we do have any of the viewers that would like to give me a hand on kind of the male and female, if this is a male and female penguin, but I'm going to go for a male because I think I remembered something about the pink patches on the skin. Looks like it could be a little male. He's giving himself a good clean. I love that they look like they're always wearing a little fancy suit. So the males are also slightly larger than females, one also have a longer bill. So yeah, the juveniles, when they're still juveniles, they don't really possess any dominant markings, so they're kind of like a mottledy brown color. But yeah, very cool to see these penguins. I think it would be a bit of a cold day to jump into the ocean today, I must say. Isn't that epic? Maybe we'll see some whales. Maybe we'll see some dolphins, would be pretty cool. This is a cool location. Oh, I did not expect to see an Egyptian goose. I must say, oh, does it have some chicks there maybe? I feel like I can see something moving on the left-hand side. No, maybe it's just feathers. Could be sitting on a nest though. If you have a look, there's a lot of down feathers. Generally, down feathers are very indicative of a bird's nest. So this Egyptian goose could be sitting on a nest at the moment. I think Egyptian geese normally lay anything from about like 6 to 8 eggs. Yeah, so she could be sitting on eggs waiting for her little chicks to hatch. Very unusual place for Egyptian geese, I must say. So yeah, apparently this goose has been nesting here for some time. Our Zumi Bundu says that this goose has been here. Yeah, man, what? How crazy! Egyptian geese are quite unpredictable like that. She, she, yeah, they do nest in very peculiar places. They do all birds' nests too. So Egyptian geese, yeah, they can be a bit of a nuisance. These birds, they are known to chase vultures off of their nest. I have seen them nesting on hammerkop's nest. Yeah, so apparently the first sighting of this Egyptian goose on the nest was on the 20th of the 8th by our Zumi operator, Mr. Bundu. So thank you, Mr. Bundu, for taking note of that. Like, pretty cool to see. So she must be, I'm sure, within the next couple of days or week or so, I'm sure those eggs might be hatching. So apparently there were 2 eggs seen here. And apparently there was only, yeah, so there are 3, but now there's only 2 left. So pretty cool to know that this. So thanks for the update on this Egyptian goose. Really cool to like hear this little story of this Egyptian goose. Maybe there'll be some little ones. Shame, I don't think she had a very successful year. At Juma, we had some little goslings. I think there was 6. It started off at Juma at Biffleshoek Dam. Oh, it was so cool to follow that little Egyptian goose family. And I think the 6 eventually dwindled down to 3 and then 2. So yeah, very cool. There's going to be a little Egyptian geese family. So Anne Mac, I'm glad that you've been enjoying watching the little Egyptian geese running around. Yeah, I wonder if it's the ones at Juma we were speaking about. But yeah, so Egyptian geese seem to have quite a sporadic nesting. Yeah, kind of nesting time. I don't think they have a set time per year, and I think they can, in some areas, actually nest twice a year, which is pretty cool. But again, it's an adaptation that they've had because they, again, are somewhat of an invasive species. feel like at some stage it's going to be also renamed to the common goose, like the Indian myna. It's no longer called the Indian myna now, it's now the common myna. I think some otters would be awesome. That'd be cool. Like some seals. Some seals. Seals would be great. Oh, full rock dusty. Maybe came down for a drink. It's very unusual for me to see these hyraxes so close to the water. Oh, this is so awesome. Why don't we have a quiet moment? So why don't we have a nice meditative quiet moment, folks, to listen to the sound of the ocean before the show ends. Just taking this beautiful scenery with these cute dussies and penguins and the Egyptian goose. Take some nice deep breaths in and out. I'm super grateful to be here right now and to be able to listen to the sounds of the ocean. How lovely is it to sit and listen to the sound of the ocean from the comfort of our homes? Oh my goodness. What a privilege it is to be able to see this beautiful view. Ocean geese as well. So, Catherine, I guess Catherine's going to be owing me a cake one day if I find an otter near the ocean, which would be pretty epic. So, yeah, so you do get otter species are quite a diverse species, and it is pretty cool. So, you get the African clawless otter, which is found throughout most of southern Africa. But you also get the spot-necked otter, which is found mostly in northern and eastern parts of South Africa. But both of these species do actually live in freshwater rivers, lakes, and they can also occur in estuaries as well as marine environments. I have actually seen otter tracks on the beach before, which I thought I almost had a heart attack when I found them. I was not expecting to see otter tracks kind of near the ocean. But they are very unique in that yeah, these otter species, it actually has no claws. They have very highly dexterous fingers, and that kind of allows them to easily feel under the rocks and catch their prey. So estuaries and rocky areas like this is perfect habitat for an otter because of their dexterous fingers. It helps them to be able to catch things like fish and crabs, crayfish. So yeah, it's pretty cool there that they lack these claws, so the footprints are very easy to spot in the sand. It's very unusual, like almost looks like a very strange hand-shaped paw in the sand. But of course, they're very rare to see. Generally, the best time to see them would be early mornings, and that's would be the best early mornings, late in the evenings to see these otter. Of course, it is a very secretive mammal. I'd love to see an otter. It would be really awesome. I've seen the Congo clawless otter in West Africa and only had brief sightings of the Cape clawless otter in southern Africa. So, yeah. Oh, we've got some, looks like some cormorants here. Also having a bit of a lovely lazy afternoon, grooming themselves. Could be Cape, looks like the Cape cormorants. Let's have a look. See, they've got that in kind of very prominent white underneath their throat. There's the Cape cormorant. Yes. So we've got some cormorants here that are also grooming themselves, enjoying the last bit of afternoon sun. Yeah, so these cormorants will nest in colonies. Quite cool to see them nesting in big colonies, are also on very rocky outcrop areas. Like this would be perfect place for cormorants to nest. Do always love the coloration of the cormorant's eyes. They always have like very beautiful orange and blue tinge to their eyes. Oh, and we even have a seagull. Hello, little seagull. I don't know if anyone's ever had their food stolen from them by a seagull on the beach, but it can be a little bit of a nuisance on the beach. Seagulls like to run around and pick up any scraps from the ocean that might have washed away in the tide. So Pat Haggett, it's definitely a beautiful place. It's been lovely to be here. Oh, this has totally made my day. Hello, little seagull. This is a juvenile. He's obviously not fully grown, doesn't have his full adult colours on his face. Liverpool bird, I also agree with you. It is beautiful to kind of have a different change of scenery. And Penelope Kenyon, otters at Victoria Waterfront, Sea Point. Ooh, that sounds like a good spot to visit. I will definitely go and have a look, see if I can see any otters at Victoria Waterpoint in Sea Point, Cape Town. That'd be awesome. I think it would be perfect habitat for them as well because you get a lot of dead fish often washing up on the kind of beaches. Perfect for the otters to come along and snatch up a free meal, just like the seagull is planning on doing. It's roaming around looking for any free food. So you do get, he looks like he could be a Hartlib's gull. So you do get the Hartlib's gull and of course the grey-headed gulls. The bigger one, the lesser black gull. Cool, so I'm going to go with the fact that this is a Hartlib's gull. I'm going to try and play the call for you here, see if you can hear him. Let's see. So I'm sure if you spend some time in Cape Town, that is a very familiar sound as you're walking along the coast. You get a lot of these Hartlib's gulls. They are quite common. Yeah, just brings back some really great memories of Cape Town. What a lovely place to visit. So much to do in Cape Town. I wonder, yeah, does anyone have any fond memories from Cape Town? I know obviously the penguins are, yeah, Table Mountain, all the hiking in the mountains, and yeah, a lot of attractions, all the wine routes that you can do, the penguins. It's a lot of different beautiful beachfront areas. Does anyone else have any favorite Cape Town memories, favorite Cape Town experiences? Up to Cape Point, it's always a special spot to go and visit. A lot of amazing hiking. Oh, that fynbos as well. I've got an uncle that does safaris in the fynbos, birding safaris. Oh my goodness. Yeah, I didn't realize Cape Town has a very high amount of fynbos. I did this bio blitz, so kind of like an animal blitzing, um, recording kind of data collecting. What is it? Yeah, BioBlitz last year, and Cape Town was coming in after Australia. I think Cape Town was number 2 in the world for one of the highest species recorded of plants, and it was mostly fynbos, obviously recorded, which was crazy. I think they had something like last year, I don't know, 20,000 different types of plants. Obviously, not all fynbos, but mostly fynbos. So I had no idea Cape Town has such a diverse amount of fynbos. Crazy, crazy, crazy. These hyraxes are still lazing around. So yeah, they have pretty similar dung to that of rabbit. So it does look like the rock rabbit dung. So Olive, thank you for sending in your comment. So yes, I believe you did go to the DHL Stadium a few times. Lion's Head, I know, is a very good place to hike up and down. I'd love to do. There's a Lion's Head challenge I'd love to do to see how many times you can hike up and down Lion's Head in 24 hours. I think there was some crazy man that yeah, he hiked up and down Lion's Head like 12 or 14 times in 24 hours. So I have a friend who's dying to go and try and break that challenge. It'd be pretty cool. Up and down Lion's Head. But yeah, you have to kind of pick your days to do some of those hikes because sometimes you get to the top of the mountain and then it's all overcast and you can't see a thing. So these rock duckies are quite territorial. You will have a single male and generally a number of females. And they can be in groups of anything up from about 5 individuals all the way up to about 20, 25 individuals all in one little kind of group. And like I said, they spend most of their days sunning themselves. Don't actually need to feed much. Um, and the females and their young will often be very close to each other, so they do bond with each other quite a lot, spend a lot of time, just hanging out. So often a very good indicator of a rock dassies or hyraxes, if they're around, is you will find their kind of latrines that they use, or urine dribbled down the rock. So yeah, very good place to see if you're looking in rocky area trying to find. They'll use these latrines, which is like a communal bathroom that they'll kind of use to all kind of urinate in the same place. And yeah, can be a good giveaway sign that there are some rock dassies close by. So Catherine, Lion's Head at sunset definitely is one of the top hikes in Cape Town. I know it's an amazing place to hike. And Harriet Hodgin, I believe it's very pretty in Cape Town at the moment. A lot of spring flowers blooming. I have no doubt about the beautiful spring flowers that are blooming, as well as all the fynbos. And the fynbos seems to have every different season has a different color of fynbos that's always blossoming. So yeah, beautiful protected nature reserves in Cape Town to especially protect that fynbos. Definitely worth going on a fynbos tour to see what other beautiful fynbos out there, but also you might be surprised to find some very rare and elusive creatures. I know there's a special frog that occurs only in Cape Town, very special, accustomed to being in the fynbos. And our little penguin has come back. And Penelope Kenyon, I believe seeing great white sharks was one of your highlights of being in Cape Town. Look at this little penguin. He's just on a mission. Shane, where are your friends, buddy? Where are your friends? So they might not seem so kind of agile on land, but these penguins are super swimmers, very efficient swimmers. Obviously, mostly feeding on fish, different fish species kind of mix.
Hello everybody and welcome. My name is Andrew and this is On Safari.